that music, I mean that song and that anime as well were a huge imprinting on my passion for Japan. That kind of it's kind of the match that lit the fire, I would say.
It's not a Japanese song.
Mm,
It's an English song, but at the beginning of the song, they have a Japanese intro. Never realized it until maybe 4 years ago. So the name of the song is "Get Your Freak On" by
mm,
Missy Elliott.
mm.
It's a nasty song. I'll say that.
Rose of old Japan, I'm coming back to you. There in old Japan, you'll make my dreams come.
And welcome back to the Nihon no Madoguchi Podcast with your hosts Domo and
Marty, what's up, everyone? Long time no see, almost, right? As always, 1 week, right? Spot
yeah,
on
yeah.
1 week.
It's been a week. It's been a week. It's always like at least maybe at the most 1 week. But sometimes we don't do it every Monday like
Yeah,
like we plan. So it'll be like we'll probably do it on Tuesday or Thursday or something or
right.
Friday. Then it's only like a couple days. But I think this time has been a week, maybe. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Also,
yeah,
I use this occasion to anticipate that we will probably have a summer break during
yeah, yeah.
August, although probably that will not affect too much the broadcast itself. But we,
Hmm.
as the hosts and broadcaster and everything, we will probably have about a month of off in August because a lot of things happening in August every year. So yeah,
Indeed, indeed.
you will see some episodes in September. We may be a little bit rustier than usual, but that's matter for
Yeah,
future
we'll be
episodes.
fine.
So today, switching, no weather talk today because I think it's always hot. It's getting hot in here as well. It's getting way hot there in Japan as well. So I guess no need to do much weather talk, and we can jump right into today's topic, which, to be honest, it's very interesting. When Domo presented it to me, I was very convinced about the idea, and since Domo came up with the idea, I will let you do the honor of introducing today's topic.
Sure, sure. So if you've probably read the title on the YouTube episode already, but today's topic is gonna be about Japanese music, our favorite Japanese music, and specifically how Japanese music kind of ties in with our journey, whether it's our Japanese language journey or just our journey with Japanese culture, right? And how we kind of started interacting with uh, with Japan as a whole, and you guys can probably already figure out that me and Marty were a little bit otaku, and you can see in the background. You can't see in the. I don't have anything here, but you can see this right here, right? So I imagine you guys can probably figure out what kind of songs we might be talking
Mm,
about. For the majority of this episode, but that's for you guys to look forward to. But yeah, that's basically the kind of gist of this episode. It'll be, I mean, I guess somewhat personal. I'll probably end up learning a little bit more about Marty. I don't think we've
definitely.
ever really talked about
Not
this
much. No,
in our private at any point in our 9-10 years of
almost,
being friends. So
almost.
yeah, yeah, we've
Next
been
year.
together for a long time, Marty.
Next year
Uh,
is
but we'll
Jushun, and
you soon then. Whoo! We gotta do something. Maybe I don't know. You're in
mm,
France, so I don't
right.
know
We'll do
what we can
something.
we can do something on the podcast. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
But let's hop right into this
Sure.
this juicy episode. And we'll start with you, Marty.
Mm,
So how I was kind of thinking about we go through this episode is right, kind of talk about kind of like the beginning, the kind of the origin story of
right.
like your first interactions with Japanese music,
Uh,
and then kind of going from there,
mm,
and kind of showing your evolution, if you want to put it that way.
sure, 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 sure.
Um, but talk to me about like the very first Japanese song that you ever heard and that you actually liked?
Oh, nice. That is very nostalgic, to be honest. And matter of fact, I just received the CD yesterday or two
Oh,
days ago. It's a very rare CD, even in Japan. It was a little bit pricey, but just not to
okay.
get ahead of ourselves. So the
Mm,
story begins when I was in elementary school. I don't
oh,
remember exactly. Yeah. It's a very long time ago. I don't remember exactly how old I was. Probably in between
yeah.
7 and 9 ish.
Okay,
So,
that's
uh,
quite early.
yes. An asterisk is due, so a premise is due is that this is the first Japanese song that I knew was Japanese. Because when I
Mm,
was a kid, when I was in France, I used to watch anime, but without the realization that they were Japanese products,
yeah, of
or
course.
that the songs or the music that you could hear in that were Japanese. As a matter of fact, I think I didn't even know what Japan or what geography is as a whole.
Sure.
So um,
What is geography?
I mean, when you're a kid, 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah,
you're France, Italy. It's like a vague idea. You may have seen the world map
sure.
somewhere, but you don't really connect. There is a lot of dots that are still left
Sure,
around.
sure.
But so I remember it because it's actually very tied together. Music and the anime that I watched
Mm,
were a very big influence in my passion for Japan.
okay.
So just to give away the title of the anime, it's a rather underrated animated movie.
Okay. Oh,
It's
movie.
called it's called Venus Wars in
Venus
Japanese. Yeah, no, I
Wars.
don't think you difficult. It's very very niche. It's extremely niche. Yeah,
I
no.
don't think I've ever heard of Venus Wars. That's news to me.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
new
yeah,
one.
yeah. It's a very very obscure one. In
Sure,
Japanese,
sure.
the title in Japanese is Venus Senki, so Sonomama. It's really translated as the
Thank
Chronicle of the
Yeah.
Venus Wars.
Okay, okay.
Uh, in the story is like there is two countries on Venus. Venus can the planet is habitable. You can live there. There are two colonies there, and one of the two
Mm,
colonies attacks the other one. And there is a group of
of course.
young rebels that try to protect their country, and they fight back. It's a very very late 80s kind of topics like civil war
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
on and stuff like this and rookies. It's very similar in ideas to more known anime like Akira and stuff like that. So young people, rebels that are a little bit cast away, that they fight to protect the world or protect their stuff and everything. And in particular, there is one song in the anime. It comes at the very end of the anime that
Mm,
I think it's called Shakunetsu no Circuit.
okay,
It's part of the OST for this movie, which by the way was done
okay.
by Isaichi Joe. So the OST is done by Isaichi Joe,
Ooh.
which is the OG of Studio Ghibli. He has done
Mm,
almost all Studio Ghibli songs. But this movie actually comes before most of the Ghibli stuff. I think the movie, if I'm
mm,
not mistaken, is from 1989. So it was
okay.
5 years before I was born. So very, very,
Ooh.
very old stuff. It's directed by wait, because I always get his name wrong. Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, which is the guy who did the
Oh,
design for Gundam, so Mobile Suit Gundam. Yeah, and he did a lot of older. It's a very very old actor. I mean, author that
mm,
he worked a
yeah, yeah.
lot in animation, and now he's doing manga as well. I have a couple of
Oh,
stuff in here as well. Maybe I'll
okay,
show you
okay.
later. So yes,
Please.
to cut the story short,
No,
uh,
yeah.
so when you're a kid, you have a tendency to rewatch the same VHS. So it was a VHS that I had of this movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
of course, of course.
simply I watched loop like every day. I used to watch it every day. So much so that at some point, like the music was part of the overall experience, the pictures and everything. So, and it was in French, but likely the music was kept, the OST was kept all in Japanese.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
also
Interesting.
there was something in the music that really caught my attention even when I was a kid. So it's like how do you want to put it? It's a woman singing, and there is this idea of freedom, fight for freedom and stuff, even in the musicality, and it's very pop and rock mixing
Yeah.
together with a lot of 80s kind of synthetic sounds, and they use the synths a lot.
Uh,
So yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
catchy. Unfortunately, because of YouTube regulations, we will not be able to share it with you in this video. We will probably put a link if they are available on YouTube. We will put a link down in the description for you to listen to that. But yes, to this day, when I hear that song, I got kind of torihada, how do you say, goosebumps, because of
Goosebumps.
like the overall feeling, and it's such an imprinting that I remember, because when the music, I mean, there is a, it's towards the end, there is this kind of
Oh,
ending song going on, and I remember there were the subtitles at the bottom, and I remember watching the VHS at some point with a note, and I used to scribble down the um,
oh,
the lyrics, as because there
yeah,
was
yeah,
a pre-internet time, so I didn't have internet to go look out for the lyrics. So I remember that
of course.
I put the VHS in, and every time there were a new subtitle, I stopped the screen and just scribbled down well, because I wanted to know what they were saying, because I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
heard the music, I very catchy and everything. And yes, I think that is probably my first connection with Japanese as a language. The I
Interesting.
heard it so many times that I could sing it without really knowing the words. But I think that
Mm,
that music, I mean that song and that anime as well, were a huge imprinting on my passion for Japan. That kind of, it's kind of the match that lit the fire, I would say.
wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. I
quite a long.
when you said 7 years old, 7 to
Yeah,
9 years old or something, that was much earlier than I was
yeah,
expecting.
yeah, yeah.
And
Because
yeah. Oh,
to be fair, just to it's not like I found this out of the blue. I had a 10 years old cousin at the time. I mean, he's still alive, so it's not
mm,
like, but at the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when I was 7, he was like 16 or 17. So he was deep
Oh,
into anime, manga, and all like nerdy stuff.
interesting.
So I kinda leech it, the stuff from here, and so the VHS that I got it from him. So when I visited him, I watched it so many times that he simply gifted it to me. I still have it somewhere.
So, yeah. Was he the one who told you that it was Japanese, or was it
No, no,
just
no, 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 no,
like you
no.
heard it and you recognized it as Japanese?
Yeah, I knew that it was Japanese. I don't remember what was the process, probably made in Japan somewhere, but it was not him saying this is anime or introducing me into what it was. It was just a VHS that I found somewhere that I played, and I kind
Mm,
of was awestruck but how good it was. Like the animation quality was something that I never see. I mean, I used to watch Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball is still Toei animation level, so it is good, but it's not like, it's not an animated movie. Then when I watch
yeah,
the
yeah,
movie, it's like so much more adult, so much more gory, and like the quality, the animation quality was such a was. And you know, when you see the Holy Grail, I was like, what is
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah. So that's
yeah.
the
Interesting.
origin
And
story of
that's
Marty the Otaku.
origin. Yeah, like when I was listening to you,
Mm,
explain, your origin, I was thinking like, was there any point in my early childhood that
mm,
I had heard Japanese and just didn't know it? Because for me, I didn't really know Japan uh, was a country or Japanese was a language
mm,
until like probably high school.
right.
To be truly honest with you, and like I probably had learned about it at some point in my life. You know, this is Japan, the
Mm.
country, yada yada yada. But it didn't pertain to me. It wasn't useful information for me to know or remember. So I just let it go. It did not stay in my brain. Um, and so I was thinking because my original answer, which I'm gonna explain here in a second, was it starts from when I'm in high school.
Mm.
But as I was thinking about, you know, was there any Japanese that I may have encountered when I was young and just didn't know it? There's one,
Oh,
and
interesting.
it's not a Japanese song.
Mm.
It's an English song, but at the beginning of the song, they have a Japanese intro,
Mm.
and I I never realized it until maybe 4 years ago.
Ah.
Um, I had heard the song again, like
Mm.
it came on, and I heard the Japanese. I was like, hold on, that's not Japanese. That's not Japanese, is it? I rewinded it, listened to it again. I was like, that's Japanese. I didn't know that was
Awesome.
Japanese. So the name of the song is "Get Your Freak On" by
Mm.
Missy Elliott.
Mm.
It's a nasty song. I'll say that, right? It's called "Get Your Freak On," right? And at the beginning of the song, they say, "Kore kara minna de mechakucha odotte sawago sawago."
Mm.
And when I was younger, I would hear that, and I thought it was just gibberish. I thought they were just going, or maybe it was like she said something, but they put it in reverse, right?
Ah.
And so it didn't make any sense. I thought it was English. Right? I had
Mm.
no idea that was Japanese until recently when I heard the "Korekara mi chacha odotte sawago sawago." I was like, that sounds like
Japanese.
Japanese. It sounds like Nihongo. Uh, and then and what's funny is I posted that on like Instagram or Facebook or something,
Mm-hmm.
and and some of my senpai who are also like Americans,
Right.
um, they were like, "What?" I never knew. I was like, I just found out too. we we all had the revelation together.
Right.
So maybe Missy Elliott was doing things, she was doing innovative things before anyone else. I don't know any other songs that incorporate Japanese into the lyrics like that, or at least into the like an intro or outro.
Mm.
There's probably more, and I just don't know them. But that was
There is.
this is kind of like a pre-answer before the
Right.
actual answer.
I know that there was before getting your answer. I know that there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
one very popular song, a Japanese song that was very
Okay.
popular in the United States back in the 70s, 80s, I think. Sukiyaki. I think you
Oh,
know it, like Sukiyaki. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Sukiyaki.
and exactly, exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, the title Sukiyaki is the English version. I think in
yeah, yeah.
Weo Mite, I think it's the
Yeah, Will Wheaton. I
yeah.
think that's what it's called.
And I happened to find that it was used in Malcolm in the Middle in the very first season at some point, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I kind of get a similar experience to yours. I was like, "Chotto matte."
That's crazy. I've watched Malcolm in the Middle, and
Right.
I'm have to go and look for it now.
I don't
You guys
remember.
also,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
go and search for
somewhere.
it.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the first season. I think I was like, "Pa pa pa pa," like the
Interesting.
meme, like up up up.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw
Oh, look.
up up up. Up.
Interesting. I imagine you can probably just Google it, Malcolm in the
Probably
Middle,
Skiaki.
Ue Omuita
Yeah.
Sugiyaki or something like yeah, and it'll come up.
Mm-mm.
Interesting. I'll have to
Yeah.
look that up. So there's probably like hints here and there, just little bits of Japanese sprinkled throughout pop
Exactly.
culture, popular
Exactly.
culture and media and stuff like that in America and in other countries.
Mm-mm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But so going into my original answer,
Yeah.
um, so I started studying Japanese in high school. So a lot of a lot of my interactions with Japanese music start there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I even started studying Japanese in my second year of high school, my sophomore year, um, my freshman year is probably when I really started getting back into anime,
Mm.
and maybe even before then. But there was so I don't know if you know about this, but there's a late night like kind of program called Toonami.
Yeah, yeah.
in the States, and they play a lot of that. The whole thing is playing anime, right?
Mm.
And so they have a bunch of different, um, like maybe a episode of one anime, two episodes of another anime, episode of another anime, kind of like thing, up until like 4 or 5 a.m. from like 10 p.m.
Oh wow.
And yeah, yeah, and so it was. I would always stay up to try to watch,
Mm.
some of my favorite ones, and this is kind of like anyone who's watched Toonami
Mm-hmm.
or at least fell asleep with Toonami on, like they watched their anime and then went to sleep without turning the TV off. They've experienced this. And do you know the anime Inuyasha?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the anime Inuyasha, I don't remember. I guess it was the first season. The ending to that season is it's called Fukai Mori,
Mm.
and it's probably one of the most iconic Japanese songs amongst the anime community, at least in the States. And it's because Inuyasha almost came on every day at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Like it was like two episodes for like over an hour. And I can't tell you how many times I've been woken up by that ending. Because it starts off with Boku Tachi wa, and they're like they're not
Ah.
screaming, but it's very loud, right?
Yeah.
And you hear they like, oh,
Uh,
I can't tell you how many times I've been woken up by that. And that was my first, I
hmm.
would say my first interaction with Japanese music. Because it's
Interesting.
still a memory that sticks with me.
Mm.
And that was like hearing that made me want to actually watch Inuyasha.
Right.
And that kind of started me on that journey as well, my anime journey,
Mm.
kind of, I guess, restarting of the anime journey, because of course I watched Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But I think I started watching Inuyasha, because it was in dubbed on Toonami. I was
Mm-hmm.
watching it in dub. I went online, pirated it, on some website, and
The
watched
good
it
old
in
days.
English. Yeah, the good old days. And yeah, that was like the very first Japanese song that I recognized as Japanese.
Mm.
Because again, I probably heard Japanese songs before then,
Right.
but the one that I recognized as Nihongo
Mm.
was that one.
Mm.
And that was and after a while, like I ended up learning it, like memorizing the lyrics and singing
Right.
it in karaoke and things like that.
Mm.
So it's even to this day, I do still sing it from time to time. So it's a
I
song
know.
that's
I
been
know.
with me for for I guess what, 13, 14 years now.
Wow.
It's been on the full journey. It's
It's there
and it's
from
a
the
great
beginning.
song
Yeah.
from the beginning. And I mean, it was kind of similar to you, because I heard it so much
Mm.
that I could sing it without knowing what it meant or what
Right.
they were even saying. Until I actually went out and tried to learn it, and then I started learning Japanese, right? And so
Mm-mm.
I'm like, oh, that's the kanji for tree, and there's three of them. Oh, that means Morty. Oh, it's the
Oh,
it's the forest. What
makes
does Fukai
sense.
mean? He goes, okay, go look for the Fukai. Oh, Fukai Morty. All right, the deep forest. Cool. It was very fun, in those days at the beginning when
Yeah.
you're discovering everything for the first time.
Interesting. That make me think of when we used to do a lot of karaoke back in when we were doing our year abroad, and the
Of course.
amount of, because when you do karaoke in Japan and you choose a Japanese song, you don't have choice. You get the lyrics in Japanese. Of course, you have
Yes.
furigana at the top. If you don't know what
Yeah.
furigana is, you have a video somewhere in the
I
channel.
have a whole episode talking Furigana, yes, sir.
I remember like all these songs that I used to learn just by listening to them many, many, many times, just having the text, the lyrics appearing on top, and I was, I know that kanji, I know that kanji. Ah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
very funny way to learn and to memorize kanji just by singing them at karaoke.
yeah. Karaoke is a great way to
Mm,
get your kanji knowledge up. Now, I will say, if you go back and watch the Furigana episode, you'll
mm,
know that especially during song lyrics, sometimes the furigana does not actually match the reading of the kanji that's being displayed. So
Indeed.
beware. You'll see like Q, which means earth, and above it it'll say
Hmm.
hoshi. And I'm like, that's not how you read that. I know that's Q,
Hmm.
but they want you to read it this way, so you have to read it that way, and you can't really say anything about it.
That's
Um,
creative
yeah,
license, I
cool.
would say.
Yeah. Of course, artists and authors alike,
Hmm.
they take a lot of creative liberties with
Yeah,
with furigana.
they do. They
Yeah,
do.
interesting. I'm glad that I got to find out that new piece of lore about you,
The
Marty.
origin story.
You've been interacting with Japanese since you were seven,
I think so.
9,
Yes.
since you
Yeah.
were in elementary school. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere around that age, right?
Mm-mm.
That's insane. Now, and it's kind of similar for me, but I just didn't know it,
Mm.
right? And again, watching anime, uh, the big ones.
Mm.
Also, you interacting with Japanese culture, just didn't know it was Japanese because it was all
Mm.
in English, right?
Also, I don't know.
Okay, so yeah,
I don't know about the US. I think like for kids oriented shows they do it, but for example in Italy, I think to this day, but for sure they did it when I was a kid. They
okay,
changed all the openings and endings of Japanese show with Italian lyrics, and sometimes they completely
yeah,
changed the music as well. So there was never a time where I could realize that what I was watching on TV was Japanese, simply because there were no major hints that this was Japanese content. I'm talking about Dragon Ball, I'm talking about
yeah.
Pokemon and stuff like that. Of course, there was Doraemon, and for Doraemon, it was impossible not to make the fill in the gap that they are in Japan because Doraemon is so
Yeah.
much Japanese
Yeah,
focused.
true.
But they have destroyed all the openings and ending to the point where now all the adults, all the Italian adults, they know the Italian songs and they are very, how do you say, they are very nostalgic of those kind of songs
Yeah,
that, to be honest, they are trash. They're utterly trash. They are not good at all. But because you listen to it every day when you're a kid, you just
yeah.
kind of get some kind of imprinting, and that is why I had to go through like hidden VHS to understand what was Japanese,
Yeah.
because otherwise I wouldn't have the chance to do the to bridge the gap of this is actually something from Japan.
No, yeah, it's the same in America.
Mm,
And I'll say because I watched everything in English, and all the openings and endings were in English, I have a sense of kind of nostalgia and
mm,
familiarity with those openings. And I
right.
will say, so like so I don't know what the Yu-Gi-Oh Japanese opening is, but the
Uh
American Japanese
it's a good
opening is
one.
a
It's a good
banger.
one, yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I've never watched Yu-Gi-Oh in Japanese. I've only
Mm,
ever watched it in English. And in the English opening, it doesn't even really have lyrics.
mm,
It's like kind of like instrumental, and
yeah.
then it goes, "It's time to
Duel.
and then it hits because
Mm,
that's what I grew up with. And the
right.
same for Dragon Ball. I would say so. We have something called Dragon Ball Kai,
Mm,
right? Which is like a shortened version of Dragon Ball Z. It just gets rid of all the like unnecessary bits. So, like
right.
the Frieza arc is
Yeah.
like shortened,
Yeah.
right? And they from that point when they made Kai, they used the opening.
Yeah.
What is it called? Dragon Soul. It's a
Mm.
Japanese song. They just use the English version of that song. So
Uh
instead of just making a completely different song,
mm-hmm.
um, they've took the Japanese song, just translated it, and so the sound and everything's the same. But like the original Dragon Ball Z, they have a song,
They are amazing.
they have a song called "Rock the Dragon,"
Uh
uh, and it's. I mean, again, when you grow up and that's all you know, shit, the stuff's fire, bro. And I remember talking to some friends about friends who who know both the Japanese and the original,
Mm,
the original Japanese and the American version,
right.
and they're like, yeah, we love the Japanese. Don't get it wrong. I seen Kageyama Hironobu all day,
Mm,
but that Rock the Dragon is fire. We always we stick together with that. But
yeah.
and I don't know what the Italian ones sound like. Like you said, they said they were trash. I can't speak on the
Yeah.
Italian versions. But
Not very good. I mean, if I say this and we have Italian people listening to this podcast, they will probably come at my door with pitch and forks. But let's face the truth: the 99% of the Italian openings are trash. They are not good, and they don't make sense. For example, for Dragon Ball, they go the opening song is something about what is my destiny, Dragon Ball. You are the only
mm,
one who know, but Dragon Ball is not about destiny. It's not about this kind of story. So you're like, that doesn't make sense if you think about it. They just put in words
yeah.
together that shaking, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they didn't think that kids were smart enough to understand that. But I must say, there is one exception because I think there is an
Oh,
exception on everything. I must say that the Italian opening for Hokuto no Ken the Warrior, I think, Ken the
ooh.
Survivor, it's the best one.
Fifth of North Star is what we call it in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Feast of the North Star, the Italian opening. If you know the lyrics, that's poetry. That's poetry. I must say, Your Shock is very good. Your Shock is very good.
Yeah,
Musicality
sure. Yeah,
wise, like music wise, it is very good. But man, they 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 drop the beat with the lyrics. It goes like something like "Never, never, you will forget that time when the heart stood still. Who will? It's something like who will break our chain? Our so
Mm.
it's damn. It's like wow,
No,
wow.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's similar to and again, I don't know the Japanese version
Mm,
of this anime Pokemon,
right.
right? I only know I'm gonna be the very best,
Yeah,
like
that's
no one
iconic.
ever was. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I know. And
Mm,
it's hype. It's lit. And I mean that one fits well with the anime,
yeah.
right? Because that he is trying to be the very best, like no
Mm.
one ever was. Um,
And the
so and
very
I mean,
nice
now that you mention it, yeah,
riffing of
some
the
of the
electric guitar and everything. That you don't have it really in the
yeah
Japanese.
rock. I will say another thing that I really like about, and again, it's probably just nostalgia speaking.
Mm.
And this is something I can say. I've watched some of Dragon Ball Z in Japanese. Just kind of wanted to go back and kind of rewatch it.
Right.
Um, but they've changed some of the OSTs, like the soundtracks
They do. They
in
do.
the actual
They
anime.
do.
And Bruce Faulkner, the guy who makes the American
Right.
OSTs, fire.
It's
Like
good.
I was trying to explain the Super Saiyan 3 transformation theme to Eriko.
Ah.
And she's seen all of Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
And so I was like we was talking about Super Saiyan 3, something about it like he not having eyebrows like that. And then I was like, but I really like the theme. She was like, the theme? I don't really remember the theme. I was like, you don't remember the theme? That's fine. And I played it for her, and
Ah.
she's like, that's not what I remember. I was like, it's different. I was like, oh no, you guys didn't you didn't experience peak. That's peak OS. He's screaming for like 5 minutes, and it's playing in the background. Dun, dun, dun. Oh man, I'm getting worked up. I'm getting
Yeah,
worked up.
yeah. As
But
you can see.
yeah.
I think
Let's
we will probably
yeah.
do a second part of this podcast because we're already at 30 minutes and we are not even past our origin story. So
Yeah.
I will use the extra time that we have here to add another fun fact about what you said. So it is
Go
not
ahead. Go
only
ahead.
Dragon Ball. Did you know that the first movie of Pokemon has a different OST depending on if it is the Japanese version or the English version?
The original movie,
The original movie.
the
So you
first,
know
the first.
the
Oh,
first
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Mewtwo
I haven't, I
versus
haven't watched the
Mew.
Japanese one. Yeah, I didn't know.
So
I didn't know.
I came to learn that because of work. So we were I won't go into the details because
Sure,
it
sure,
is
sure, sure.
unreleased stuff. But basically, I had to check something in between the Japanese and the English version of the first movie, and so there were some issue with Pokemon cries being mixed directly into the audio files
Mm.
because depending on where you localize stuff, the Pokemon cries change because that is not a secret. You have let's say something that could be easily understandable. Fushigi-Dane and Bulbasaur, right? So Bulbasaur is
Mm.
the English version of the name of the Pokemon. So when
Yeah.
you dub it in English, the Pokemon says Bulbasaur or Sorcerer
Bulbasaur,
or
yeah.
stuff like that. But in Japanese, they say Fushigi-Dane. That's the Japanese version. Dane
Yeah, sure,
Fushi.
sure, sure.
So when he cries, he says something like Dane Fushi, Fushi Fushi, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So basically, while I was checking this, I was like, wait, that's not right. There was a weird mix up of Pokemon cries and audio. And basically,
Yeah, yeah.
the international version of Pokemon was released by Warner Bros. And they
Oh.
made a specific OST for the first movie so they could sell the OST without giving rights to the Japanese counterpart. So that all the music, so it starts with like the opening, like I think it starts
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Catch-em-all Pokemon team, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all the songs, because there is also an movie exclusive song at the very end of the movie
Of
that
course
is
there is.
different depending on whether you watch it in English or in Japanese. And because they've changed all the OST, it means that all the music, they changed all the music. So whether you
Yeah.
watch it in English or in Japanese, the emotional involvement is completely
Yeah.
different. And the Japanese
Different
one,
experience.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Japanese one is way more rooted into emotions, while the English one goes a lot of rock music and pop music, and it's very in your face. The
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah, yeah, yeah,
version
yeah,
goes more into the emotion. It was amazing to see the difference. Like I probably wouldn't be acceptable anymore, but like back in the days,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
20, 30 years ago, it was a different approach on how to localize stuff.
No, that's crazy. And
Mm.
like now that you mention it, there was in Dragon Ball Z during the Android saga,
Yeah, yes, yes.
uh Future Trunks, he so I don't know how I came to know this song. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where I found it. But it's an OST from the Japanese version of
Mm.
Dragon Ball Z. And it's called Mind Power Key.
Mm.
And it's quite a nice song. I enjoy it. And I wanted to know where it was used. I didn't know if it was like an OST or if it was like, an opening or ending
Right.
somewhere. Found out it was played during the Android saga. Uh in a couple of different places. So like there's a specific scene. Trunks goes back to the past to meet everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's flying and they're all flying in the ship in Boma's ship, going I forgot where they're going. And they're like, so trying to figure out what he's here for, what is his whole goal and stuff like that. He tells him what's happening in the future,
Mm.
and then as he's flashing back, it's like kind of like dystopian. Everything's destroyed because the androids destroyed everything, killing everyone. And as he's explaining, he's walking through this desolate field. This song play because it's kind of a sad song,
Right,
and
right.
but it's a sad song with a little bit of hope in there because
Mm.
one of the lyrics is uh do do naru do oh shit do naru ka yorimo do suru kasa, right?
Mm.
So do naru and do suru, right? don't don't think about, oh, what's going to happen. Think about what you're gonna do to make things happen, right?
Right.
Do naru yori mo do suru kasa.
Mm.
And right, so it has a little bit elements of hope in there, right? And that explains the whole setting of, you know of the go future Trunks' kind of like situation with the
Mm-hmm.
androids. He's fighting against these super powerful androids who are destroying everything, killing everyone. His mom is trying to make this time machine to get them back to the past, so they can, that's their only hope, right? To
Right.
get Goku to destroy the androids in the past so it fixes the future. Then he finds out that if he kills them in the past, it doesn't change the future. The future's still
Mm.
going to be the same, and it's going to be a different future. So it's really sad. So as he's thinking about this, and this song's playing in the background, I was like, oh, I feel it. I can feel it. And I went and found the English version. Trash. There's no emotion there.
No.
It's some bullshit. I was like, why did you use this one here? Like
Yeah.
this is good.
I
And so
think.
like there are things I like about the English OST, of course,
Yes.
most definitely. But there's you gotta, there's some that work and some that don't.
Yeah.
Again, right? It's ah,
It's
it's
interesting. Our
it's
decision
interesting to say the least, right? Yeah,
decision of business people 30 years ago may have influenced ourselves or not, depending on their decisions on how to localize stuff. It's very interesting, to be honest, to see.
it
I
is.
also
It is.
remember, to stick with the Dragon Ball stuff, there is a very sentimental moment when Gohan becomes Super Saiyan 2.
Oh yes, of course. Oh
And
yeah,
the thing is that the music that you may think of, it's exclusive to the
yeah,
American
of course.
version, because the
It is.
Japanese
Yeah.
version is not like in the English version is like rock music, like you have a lot of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like very powerful metal-ish kind of music playing in the background, and I think
Of
the
course. Of
Japanese
course.
version is completely different. It's interesting how
Mm,
the perspective, I mean the way we may have participated to that show may have been significantly
yeah.
different depending on where we watch it. So
It
music is
is. It
important.
is. I'm having these conversations, man.
Yeah.
I think having these conversations is also important, and we the fact that there's two different ways you can experience
Mm.
a piece of media. It has the exact same story, but the music that they use
Yeah.
to help illustrate everything that's going on changes your experience completely, and how
Completely.
you
Completely.
how you come to empathize with the characters and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever I think of anime, and not anime, whenever I think of Dragon Ball, specifically Dragon Ball, right?
Mm.
And all of the different characters' themes and all the different OSTs and things, I'm usually thinking about the English version,
Right.
because those are the ones that have the most impact. I've seen the
Mm.
Japanese version. The Japanese version just don't hit sometimes. Now again, they do hit. They do hit. It has its moments, but because it's not what I grew up with.
Right.
Again, even when I was younger, whenever I would look up like Super Saiyan transformation themes, right?
Mm.
Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. Because this was like during the time when there was no new Dragon Ball material coming out. It was
The old
Dragon Ball Z,
days.
and GT. And that's it. There was nothing really new coming out. And so all you could do is go back and rewatch it,
Mm.
or watch the movies, just rewatching everything you've already. And so you're going back, you're hearing this music all the time, and you're like,
Mm.
yeah, Super Saiyan 3 theme. Right? Fire. I get like you said, I get goosebumps when I
Yeah.
hear that. And there's a lot of other anime that have similar kinds of have similar reactions to.
Mm.
We won't be able to get to them here. We'll have another
Part two.
episode,
That
part
is
2 for
why.
this.
That is a
Uh,
very nice conclusion to today's podcast, I would say.
yeah. We'll finish up, or hopefully finish up. Maybe we'll only get to the second part
Of three.
of the because I really had three parts I wanted to talk about in this episode. So might have 3 parts. Who knows?
Might
But
be.
so in the next episode, I'll you guys will get some more on the boys, and how anime music, or just other Japanese music
Japanese
in
music,
general,
yeah.
has helped shaped us. Yeah, helped shaped us as
Mm.
people and as otaku
Yeah.
in this crazy world we live in.
Excellent. So with this mega huge tease to the next episode will be out in 2 weeks. because there will be a Japanese episode in the middle.
Yeah.
We have nothing. I mean, we have quite a lot left unsaid that will not be said in this episode. So for this
In this
episode,
yeah.
we don't have anything more to say, but our usual catchphrase, saying you goodbye with a nice and friendly Soigi.
Soigi.